Not now, honey, Anita said. She was mollified by his surrender but wanted to prolong his humiliation, so she continued, maybe in a little while if you're good, okay? Why don't you sit in front of the TV and watch some cartoons? I don't think you've learned your lesson about who's in charge yet. A little while in wet training pants will help you remember who's boss around here. Now don't make a fuss or you'll have to wear them the rest of the day. We don't want that to happen, do we? If you spend all day in wet panties, you'll get a terrible case of Didi rash. You just sit right there while I go get something to put down on the carpet for you to sit on. Anita left the room for a minute and returned with an old comforter. She folded it over twice and laid the resulting rectangle on the floor for Howard to sit on while he watched TV. He crawled over to the comforter and sat in the middle as she turned on the set and adjusted the channel to one of the children's stations on the cable. When he spread out his legs in front of him to maximize exposure of the crotch of his panties to air to help them dry more quickly, he felt a trickle of urine run down the inside of his leg to soak his bottom. He was still peeing. There was nothing Howard could do about it, so he remained where he was and watched cartoons until Anita forgave him and came to change his panties. Howard wasn't all that uncomfortable, despite his wet pants. The comforter's quadruple thickness made an effective pad for the floor and cushioned his bottom nicely. As time passed, however, Howard became uncomfortable. The urine had cooled quickly in his sodden pants, making them cold and clammy by the end of the first 30 minutes. Toward the middle of the third hour, a sharp odor of decay began to rise up from his soggy pants as the bacteria on his skin converted the urea in his pee into ammonia. Howard chemical training made it easy for him to visualize the chemical reactions that would shortly cause his skin to break out and begin to itch intensely. He fidgeted as the ammonia fumes reacted with the amino acids of his skin, destroying the outermost layer of his dermis. In layman's terms, Howard was getting diaper rash. He itched horribly and longed to be washed and changed into a clean pair of training pants to end his torture. Every time he moved his legs, the crotch of his training pants squished wetly, reminding him of his punishment for behaving childishly. Movement also increased his itching to a maddening level. Howard was thoroughly ashamed of the gutless way he had acted in front of his wife. No wonder she was treating him like a small child. He deserved it for breaking down and crying after she had swatted him. It was just that he had felt so small and helpless at her feet. She had seemed so forbidding and maternal. He couldn't help himself. She was right, he had acted like a little boy. The problem was that he felt like one. He would have given anything that moment for a teddy bear to hug, and he had an almost overpowering urge to suck his thumb. He felt so alone and helpless. Just being in her presence made him want to run to her side and be cuddled. Howard was afraid that in the next few days he might do just that. Anita was turning into his mother.